The form you are looking at is the required KFETS Field Experience form. This is a form that you will take with you to every observation. It is important that you take multiple copies with you because you will need to fill out a separate form for each teacher and or classroom that you observe. Even if you are with the same teacher for the full time that you are doing an observation, if her classroom students change, a separate and or new form, I should say, is required to be completed. These field experience forms will be uploaded into Blackboard at the same time you upload your observation field experience reports. So both documents, both the report and the signed field forms, however many you have, will be uploaded into Blackboard each time a range of observations are due. I'm going to explain this form to you now as efficiently as I can, and always know that you can email or call me if you need additional clarification. The top left section of the form is pretty much self-explanatory. Your name, the teacher you are observing's name, what school you are in at the time, and what school district, for example, Hopkins County, Fayette County, Muhlenberg County, Webster County. Next section, date of observation. Very important. Start time. When did you start the observation with this particular teacher? When did the observation end? And that could be, when did the class start? When did the class end? New form. When did the class start? When did the class end? It depends on how many classes you observe, how many teachers you observe at a given time. Again, you will need multiple forms, but this start and end time is critical because that determines when and if you get the required 12 hours in for this course. Let's look at this top section in the top right. This just basically identifies the course that you are completing the observations for. It's a reminder that there are 12 hours required for this course, and please note those 12 hours require that you be in a collaborative classroom or a self-contained classroom. What college are you taking this course through? Well, that is obviously MCC or Madisonville Community College. When you are in the classroom doing your observations, and you might possibly be filling in some of this form while you're doing your observations, this is the section where you actually circle the grade level that this form is applicable to. So if you're sitting in a collaborative third grade class, obviously you're going to circle the 3. Simple but required. If you're in a split grade, it's 10, 11, you circle both class grade levels. This is the information that many students run into an issue with, and you will notice in this section of Blackboard, I provided you with a screenshot that you can print out and take with you that helps the teacher find the infinite campus number. And I know that sounds odd, but you would be surprised how many teachers don't know how to find the infinite campus number for that class. And you may be saying, why do I need it? This is the simplest way to get your hours entered into the KFETS database that you are required to maintain throughout the College of Ed up until you graduate to prove that you have met the 200-hour field experience requirement and all of the sub-requirements, which involves you being exposed to a diverse student population. So when you get the Infinite campus number from the teacher and the course name, this is already in the state's database. So when you go into KFETS, when you go into KFETS, if you have the course number, it will automatically populate the demographics of that classroom because they have been entered from the school's level. So it will show the diversification of the student body that you sat and observed that day. If they cannot find the Infinite campus number, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. You're just going to have to make sure that you've got the name of the course, and obviously you will know what school and teacher, and I will talk to you about finding them in a kind of reverse lookup way, and you can contact me if that situation occurs. Most importantly, I really want you to try to get the Infinite campus number because it will make your life a lot easier. Other than that, the next section is where you enter the total hours. So basically, that's calculated using start and end times. You need to remember that you need to go at least by the quarter hour. So don't go 2 hours and 5 minutes or 1 hour and 7 minutes. If you're there, you stay in quarter hour increments because that's the only thing that KFETS allows. You can't put in actual minutes. You have to put them in quarter hour increments. So just remember that. Once you have completed this top section, then you will notice that this section is where you actually bring these hours down and put them in the appropriate category. So if you did observations for 2 hours, you bring the 2 down here and put it in section B, which is mostly what you will be experiencing in this course. Now, if some of you decide that you want to take it upon yourselves to attend a school board or site-based meeting, you will notice that that's down here in section E. It's not required this semester, but you are certainly encouraged to do that. That's looked upon very favorably, but is not required in this course. If you do attend a school board or site-based meeting, make sure that you take a log, just like you have here. There's obviously not going to be any Infinite campus numbers or anything of that nature, but you would still have the school district, the date, the start and end time, and then make sure you get an agenda that's always handed out at the meetings. Take the hours attended, and then you would put them down here in the row E, hours per activity section. The main thing is make sure that the total hours that you observe are transferred down into the appropriate section at the bottom of the page. Now let's go to the next page. Page document. I encourage you to print them out front back if you have that opportunity. If not, that's okay. This section is for those of you who encounter a teacher that does not know how to give you an Infinite campus number, or for those of you who choose to observe in a private school because only public schools have Infinite campus numbers. Caveat, remember, if you observe in a private school, you have to make sure the teacher or teachers that you are observing are state board certified teachers, and that can be an issue in some of the private schools, so you need to make sure or those hours will not count. So back to the point at hand. Let's say you've gotten a teacher who can't find their Infinite campus number, and or you are in a private school. You ask the teacher to check which categories of this second page group of categories are applicable to the classroom that you are observing or have just observed. That's not divulging anything confidential. There's no names. She just, or he or she, simply checks the categories that are applicable to that particular classroom. And then you will have to put those in manually when you enter this particular log in KFETS. Hugely important. Make sure the teacher signs the form and it's legible. Make sure you sign the form and it's legible. The reflection section at the bottom of the page is exactly what it says, optional. If there's some notes you want to make to yourself or about the experience, that's fine. And there's an occasion when that will come up. However, you do not have to fill out anything in the reflection section for this particular class. If there are questions about completing the KFETS field experience form, you need to contact me. This is not a huge undertaking, but it is invaluable for you to get credit for this course. You should have already watched the KFETS PowerPoint and created your KFETS account in the state database. Once you have done that, when you have completed your observations, you simply take your field experience forms, sit down, log into your account, and start entering the hours. These are monitored not only by the State Department of Ed, but also by the College of Ed into which you will be transferring. Because again, it's part of the 200 required hours before you can actually qualify to student teach. So ask questions, email me or call. Just make sure that you have a good supply of these forms to take with you to each and every observation that you attend.